What's going on, YouTube? It's Big Brother 749 coming back at you with another video. I want to talk about the problem that concerns modern American women, like the thoughty behavior, the slut walks, and the hookup culture and dating preferences, and whether or not their bad decision makings will have consequences, such as with black women. The cause of chaos in the black community, and some may blame the black men because they're abandoning the child, making black women single mothers, and some may blame the black women because they chose these type of dudes. And we're living in a free society now, and I'm all for the Democratic Party giving social benefits for those who make mistakes, but I feel folks sometimes get too much freedom and abuse it eventually. It seems like young women today are going through this rebellious stage. They're afraid to be in monogamous long term relationships. And we're living in a hookup culture now, the digital age. And really, it's all women, all westernized women, because I'm noticing that this is happening with a lot of white women too. And there tend to be this trend to be a thought, a single mother. They all got tattoos, baby daddies, multiple sex partners. And we also have celebrities like Cardi B, who won Woman of the Year last year. And not only is it cool to be a thought, but it's became nationally accepted now. And there's other races of women in America who are promiscuous and make bad decisions, but this is still more prevalent with black women. And I just want to dig deep and give my take on the situation. Because when I look at the majority of sisters today, a lot of these millennial single mothers with the tattoos, weave, and face piercings, and some have gotten fat, and a lot of them are rude, aggressive, and nasty, ghetto, and ratchet. And I would think that in some way they sort of devalued themselves and will always be where they are. And nothing against sisters. I ain't talking about all of them, but a lot of them, I just don't like dealing with them like that or being around them because, most of them have the same background, the same lifestyle, and the same mannerism, characteristics, and attitudes, and they can be draining after a while. And personally, I've tried to find a sister who's on the same frequency as me, but there ain't that many of them because I don't think all sisters are attracted to thugs, but the ones who ain't, they kind of hard to find, and the ones that are worth being with are usually married, engaged, or whatever. And from what I've seen, there ain't that many marriages or long lasting relationships with black couples anymore. And it seems like black love is dead now. Because when you look on YouTube now, you see black men and black women going at it, promoting swirling and traveling to other countries, which I'm in full support of, to meet other women. I'm definitely not against that. But at the same time, though, you have to think, how did we get to that? Because there's no black unity anymore as far as black men and women. And even R&B has gotten sexually explicit. It's not even about love anymore. Now it's just all about hooking up and screwing. And these kids coming into this world, growing up in dysfunctional households, all because of bad decision making. And usually these women will have a kid by a thug or a guy who's now in jail. And childless men like me, it's impossible to find a childless woman in your 30s in the black community. I'm in my mid 30s, so of course women my age of all races are going to have kids, but most of these other races of women are usually like married or divorced or whatever, or already with someone. But with sisters, it's like whenever, like even when I was young, like early 20s, there were sisters then my age with kids. And it's sad that a lot of these young, beautiful, single black women who a lot of brothers are checking for got babies. They're single moms. And it's like they were cursed or designed or meant to be single moms. It was all because of the mistakes and the bad decision making when they were young, to where now it seems odd to find a single black woman or any woman with no kids. And a lot of them are single mothers. Some do it because they try to trap a guy that they like. And I think it's sad that they have to use kids to trap a guy or to gain social benefits. Children, they ain't conceived out of love anymore because it seems like these women are only thinking about themselves. They continue to give birth and use one of God's most precious gifts as a meal ticket. And a lot of us childless men don't want to deal with single moms. And I can see where they're coming from because I know tons of single mothers, and it's kind of hard to feel sorry for them. I mean, what gets me is when they try to shame you into dating them. It seems like they're more willing and persistent into dating you more than a woman with no kids would. They'll be, angry with you for turning them down, but not at the guy that impregnated them and left them. And it's like they can have a choice. They can choose which guy they can procreate with, but we can't have a choice and choose whatever women we want to deal with. It's like a double standard. And I don't feel obligated being with someone I don't want to deal with. Just like she had the right to choose the guy she procreated with, I have the right to choose to deal, with childless women if I could find one. Because what triggered this was I used to work with this one sister, this young sister. She used to live in these housing projects, and she was dating this dude, and she had already had a kid, a little girl, by some other thug dude before she got with this dude, and they had been dating for a while, and she was cool, she was sweet and decent, but she was kind of she was one of those type of sisters that most older women would call sweet, but she was kind of promiscuous and freaky on the low, and she was still flirting, seeking attention from other dudes. And I remember when I first met her, when she first got hired on at the job, she was asking me questions about a guy that she met online, and she was trying to get some advice from me about this other cat she ain't heard from in a while, and was wondering, how come he hasn't contacted her, or why she hasn't heard from him, or why he hasn't responded to any of her messages. And after a while, she found out that he had been arrested. I forgot what for. So she'll go down to the jail and visit him, and then come back to work the next day, telling all her girlfriends about how fine he was. And I asked her, would she ever leave her boyfriend for this dude when he's released? Her response was, I don't know. And this was a majority female staff, and that's one of the realities about working in an all-female environment, because when you see females get together, when they get together, you see their true nature. That's when they reveal their true nature. And the stuff I've seen some women do and heard some women say was just wrong. And a lot of them are sneaky, and they like to fool around behind a man's back, and they'll joke about it, laugh about it with each other, share stories about what they did with another guy. I mean, with no shame or no remorse. And it felt uncomfortable sometimes being around it. So I'm just letting you know, for all you white knights and simps out there who think women can't do no wrong, I'm just letting you know, this is how a lot of them get down. And I felt so bad for her boyfriend. I mean, I didn't know him, but, he didn't know what he was getting himself into. He was a working man. His mom admired the girl. He planned on marrying her. He was taking care of her little girl that she had with another dude who she told me was a thug. And there's guys out here who do want to get in a relationship. I mean, there's also a lot of shitty dudes out here, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of good guys out here too. But just stuff like this just makes you not want to get in a relationship. And guys get so angry and stuff like that because I remember watching commentaries on Breonna Taylor, who I didn't think had any kids, but anyway, and a lot of guys were talking about how she got what she deserved for dating a thug and still contacted her ex while she was still with her current boyfriend, and how I think they were just hurt because she reminded them of the girl that got away or rejected them for the bad dude or whatever, and she got her revenge for messing with cats like that. And they said that Kenneth Walker might have shot at the police officer because he thought that it was Jamarcus Glover, and they were supposed to be having beef with each other, and that's why he shot. But what was said about Breonna Taylor getting shot, I mean, it wasn't cool. I mean, because even though she might have, made a mistake, she didn't commit a crime and she didn't deserve to get shot and die. But we can't deny that there's a lot of black American women today who do want the bad dude. They procreate with him, break up with him, and then they get social benefits. But this is what happened when freedom from the Democratic Party is being abused. Because there's a lot of children being born into the world, not out of love, but out of lust. They're constantly being put in bad situations where they're not being properly raised, and these moms get assistance. The government, they encourage this type of behavior where it's rewarded, where judges have to deal with righteousness because the law say so. They have the rule in their favor because the law makes them, they're required to. And these kids grow up with no father figure in the home, and black dysfunction is repeated over and over again when they grow up. And it's a free country. American women are free to do what they want because of feminism and things like that. Plus, with a lot of black women, they have been born into this type of lifestyle and know nothing else, so it seems normal to them. And after a while, brothers are going to start feeling some type of way to where eventually if they're going to start traveling because these American women are trash. They just done. And it kind of makes the good sisters look bad where people would think that, that thoughty, slutty, ratchet behavior reflects all black women, because the sisters you like, is going for the dude who's always getting in legal trouble, roaming the streets, getting in and out of jail. And it's like, how women are going to lust for a dude who got caught, who's behind bars. And I could see if the woman had one child out of wedlock once, I might give that a pass. And I noticed that lately, women are not having a bunch of kids like they used to. They usually have like one child, but but the ones that's still having over one child, that to me shows they're not responsible. Because even though guys do play a part in getting them pregnant, I feel women are the gatekeepers of sex. Unless they were raped or something like that, it's their decision on whether or not her and the guy can get intimate. And the system is set up for women who made a mistake. They can always abort the baby, but a lot of them don't seem to want to do that. And you see these MGTOW men on YouTube thinking something's wrong with them. And really, I think it's deeper than that. When these women will reject a guy, it ain't always because it has something to do with his looks or the type of job he has or the type of car he drives or how much money he has. Because we've even seen this happening with rich men too, like Will Smith. He got played by Jada, by her, going for some rapper, which I felt that could have been handled in private. It was unnecessary for them to get on national TV and embarrass themselves like that, especially Jada. She's too old for that. We've seen this with Dr. Dre and his wife, Anthony Bourdain, his woman, and the situation with him, and Halle Berry and Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. And a lot of these American women will try to emulate and live the same lives and do the same things these celebrity women do, but they can't due to their financial situation and circumstances. Those celebrity women got money, more money than them, so they're free to do whatever they do, and they can't. But really, no man is safe, and that's all right, because we all get a thrill out of doing immoral things. We're not that different. Women ain't too much different than us, but some are actually worse. But men, we're more rational. Women, they like the bad dude because it's immoral and it's exciting. That's all it is. They know they're not supposed to be with those type of dudes. And this ain't even just women, but I think most people in general by nature found it fun to go against morality. Like underage drinking is more fun than legal drinking because it's more fun and rebellious. Women, they don't want the nice, nerdy, good guy because, he's not exciting. It's no different than a man not being sexually attracted to a nun. Men would prefer the kinky girl who's going to show them some cleavage and give them a good time. And women are no different. Like teenagers, they tend to rebel and don't like authority. If you put a teenager in a situation where strict morals and rules are applied, that's going to make them curious and more rebellious and susceptible to inappropriate behavior. And as men, we may desire the naughty girl in the club more so than the church girl, but most of us are more rational. We know that that's not the type of woman we want to settle down with long term, because we value moral and morality and chastity in a woman, but they don't value morality and chastity in us. And that's why you don't hear too much blame on single father homes. Good fathers give their sons guidance and tough love when needed, and dads do look out and protect their daughters, especially when she reach her teens and start dating. Because personally, I've seen better results come from single father homes. Yet the system blames the father in child support, because these laws do cater to women and everything is going to work in their favor. That's why the mother and the father should be back in the household. The mother is the nurturer and the father is the one who protects and provides. Children need that balance, especially in black households, because I notice whenever I'm working with a staff of middle-aged black men, a lot of them are married with kids and grandkids. And whenever I'm working around a staff of middle-aged black women, a lot of them are single with kids and grandkids. And I'm starting to see an increase with middle-aged white women too in this case. Because American women, they have it easy when they're young, but when they get older, they become bitter, angry, mean-spirited, and cranky. And a lot of young American women got it made, but I can tell a lot of them don't think they'll be older eventually though, because hard reality and reason doesn't kick into like age 50. Then their looks are going to fade and their bodies are going to sag and they can't get laid anymore. But that's all I want to say, folks. This is Big Brother 749 signing out. I'm out. Peace.